Hey, there's no shame in trying things that people ain't never tried before.
You have played Grand Theft Auto, or seen someone else play Grand Theft Auto. And if you haven't, well, you just got bamboozled, mother frother, because you're watching someone play it right now. Haha, joke's on you. There's a ton to do in GTA, no shortage. But if you are acting rambunctious, killing people, stealing cars, doing anything fun and anarchic, you will run into the police, inevitably. And when you do, it's fight or flight. You can run and stop doing what you were doing, or you can fight, die, and then stop doing what you were doing. In this universe, criminal behavior is outlawed wholly. If you are being criminal, then you face the police, and you cannot stand up to them forever, or you will die and you will stop. That is a fundamental law in this universe. Forever. You cannot escape it. It's so strange. I played GTA Online for years solo. If you haven't checked out my GTA Online Time, Money, and Haze video, go give that a look. It'll explain how the GTA economy, the GTA life, works, and it'll help you understand what I'm saying here, or at least reinforce it. Anyways, after a few years of playing GTA Online and dealing with the police, this unstoppable force which says you aren't allowed to do these fun activities like killing people, stealing cars, etc., etc., the law kinda sunk in. If you die fighting the police, you lose $500 base. Then you lose any ammo you had in your magazine. More if you were shooting, fighting back. Those prices add up. One magazine can cost about $128 base, so it only goes higher from there. And further, any time you spent running from or fighting the police is time you were not working and earning money. So, from the outset, trifling with the police will lose you money and time. Two things which are fundamental to the GTA Online experience. It's all about time and money. So, dealing with the police is always a bad move. So over the years, although shooting people and stealing cars is a lot of fun, you can play these little Hitman, self-made mini-games to keep yourself entertained. Eventually, I stopped. I stopped shooting civilians and I stopped stealing their cars. At first because I just didn't want to deal with the police, and it was going to put me behind, and fun was not as important as efficiency, which is a fundamental flaw of GTA Online, but the other video handles that pretty well. But then that evolved. Every time I would take out my rifle and take aim and think, alright, I'm gonna kill this white woman with a red shirt on the cell phone, my little Hitman minigame, every time I would start that, I'd find her, I'd put her head in my sights, and I'd stop and think, she has a family, she has a life, someone cares about her. Other stuff like that. Weird shit that was not true, sorta just Stockholm Syndrome, me rationalizing not killing these people so I wouldn't have to deal with the police. A weird morality system developed. I'm not letting these people live because I'm afraid of the police. I'm letting these people live because I'm a good person. Which is completely ridiculous, but that's what we're starting this episode off on, motherfucker. Get ready. Today we're talking about God versus the void, authoritarianism versus libertarianism. How belief influences perception, and how perception influences government. That's why I started this off with GTA, its pocket universe, its laws, and its all-seeing, all-knowing enforcers. If you believe in God, any higher power which controls the fabric of existence, then you believe in a power which controls the fabric of existence. You believe this higher power wields ultimate power, and what it believes, what it wants, is ultimate law. Therefore, authoritarianism makes sense, because the universe is fundamentally authoritarian. You have an ultimate power and procedures to follow. Oppress women, kill fags, God hates those. This is actually very simple. I don't need to explain this much further. If you believe in God, then you believe in eternity and ultimate power, and rules backed by ultimate power, and therefore your authority makes sense because you are just obeying universal laws. And libertarianism, anarchy, disorder does not make sense, is not valid, because eventually order prevails ultimately. We exist on a plane governed by a higher power. So anarchy, disorder, is but a distraction. It loses in the long run because God can just come in and sweep it up. It serves as nothing but a pit to draw people away from God's power, God's authority. But if you don't believe in a higher power, then you don't believe in anything. You believe there's nothing, because there is nothing. There is no higher power, no universal morality, no universal law. Just value and value and value being exchanged and exchanged and exchanged, expanding until nothing of substance can ever exist again. And if that's the case, then authoritarianism both does and does not make sense. And this is where it gets kind of interesting. So in this libertarian, atheist worldview, everything is a means to an end. Authoritarianism does not make sense because, well, the universe is a lawless, anarchic, entropic void. And trying to be anything other is just a joke. You will fall and crumble in the end, just like every man has before. But then, in that same breath, authoritarianism moves from obeying a higher power to a means to an end. A means of maintaining order, a means of feeding people, a means of preserving lives and beauty. Or anything, really, from preserving your own power by by abusing poor voters, or by keeping people you dislike out. And when you think about it like that, it makes the most authoritarian people seem the most libertarian, because they aren't using government to serve a higher power, they're just getting what they want using a means to an end. But then what are governments if not big companies, and what are companies if not infant governments? But anyways, here's an example kind of what I'm talking about. Let's say you're an atheist libertarian, you're in the bottom right. Well, the top left and the top right exist only as toys, tools in your bottom right libertarian atheist universe. Right, because the universe is infinite and lawless, and therefore any structure is just a tool to be used in that infinite lawless universe. And then the opposite is true too, vice versa. Let's say you're in the top right, you're a fortunate son, a military man, whatever. Well, like I said earlier, disorder is invalid. It's just a distraction. It's not real. For example, back to GTA. You can shoot people and you can steal cars and you can have fun, but eventually the cops will get you and stop you from what you're doing. Or you will stop what you're doing. You will fall in line because you're afraid, you're terrified. Or you develop some sort of horrible Stockholm syndrome to help you get by. Do you see what I'm getting at, though? Religion isn't just belief, it's perception. It fundamentally alters how you perceive the world and act within it. And it all comes back to that higher power and the universe. If there is a higher power who created and controls the universe, then that's what you believe. You have to work around or with that higher power to survive, to do anything. But if you don't, then it just kinda resets. Nothing is nothing, everything is everything. You do what you need to survive, even if that means authoritarianism, which is odd, to say the least, especially as and coming from a libertarian perspective. Authoritarianism is libertarianism? What? What is that? I bet there's far more to say here than I have today, especially when you drag Islam and Christianity and whatever else into it. But I said all I aimed to say today, laid the groundwork, set up a foundation. We can build on this later as time goes on, as we need to. No point in rambling anymore like pseudo-intellectuals, which is exactly what we're doing right now. Woohoo! But what in the frickety-frack, clickety-clack, lickety-lax, makety-smack do you guys think? Do you guys think authoritarianism is libertarian if you come at it from the perspective that libertarianism is the void, and in the void everything is naught but a means to an end? And on the opposite end, where does disorder fall if God does exist? If God didn't want some disorder to exist, then why does disorder exist? You know, big questions here. And the big kicker, how do you think believing or not believing in God influences how you and how other people influence the world and how they govern? Let me know. I laid the groundwork, Sonny, and there's more coming at some point, but we gotta build this delicious house together. But yeah, everybody, that about wraps this one up. I hope you enjoyed watching, because I certainly enjoyed making it. Like if you enjoyed, because that helps me out a ton. Subscribe if you haven't, because we do this shit more than weekly, even though we might not be doing it more than weekly. More when I can, nowadays. Comment your thoughts, because I love hearing from you. And yeah, thanks again for watching, everybody. We have just a big load of fun on this channel. I mean, you go on Rust and you take a pickaxe and you break a big old 50-gallon drum, and what's inside? Just a lot of fun. That's what this channel is. It's a big drum of fun. We drum up all the fun we can. And I look forward to doing this with you guys again in the future.